video I talked about fair value gaps. This week I took a trade utilizing the fair value gap, and I kind of wanted to share it with you. So hopefully it can give you an idea of how I use it, and maybe you could put it into play with your own strategy. Okay, so if you could look, the previous day, I like to mark out previous day, this is on March 9th, it looks like futures was kind of pushing up, and most likely we're going to take out highs of the previous day. So if you are a strat trader, that is automatically a 2 up. So as the market opens, we immediately get a push to the upside. But I like to kind of let the structure develop and play out so you can get a better idea of which way we are going to go or where we can bounce. Right? I want to let the structure kind of play out so I can find some fair value gaps. As you can see, we do have a fair value gap over here, here to here. We had another one earlier, but we can ignore that. That's not the one that I played. So as you can see, we have lower highs being formed, and I wanted to kind of make sure that this is a fair value gap so we can have an opportunity to play it. Okay, so we get one touch here, and then we get a rise. This could be considered a potential, right, flag, right, however you want to draw it up, right? But if we hold below this and actually push down, then I'll be looking for a short. So what would get me into the short? I mentioned in the last video, right? If we get some type of actionable signal, then I will be looking to get into a put. And with fair value gaps, right, we have a clear exit, which would be above these highs. And realistically, and depending on what your contracts are, right, you want to go for pivot lows, whatever price action allows. Right, I got in, and immediately I got out. So it was 2 5-minute candles. It was a 10-minute trade, and I thought that was pretty A+ setup for me. But right, that was the only play I took. But after watching and reviewing the charts, you can see that there was another opportunity to get into another fair value gap. So as we push down with this, where I entered, they created another fair value gap. Right, in the last play, I did basically a break of that actionable signal. So again, very similar setup. We have a rejection here off not just the 20 SMA that I have, but also the fair value gap with a red actionable signal. That means that sellers are somewhat stepping in at a resistance level. So if you wanted to play this again, you would play a break of the actionable signal. Stop loss would be above these highs, or since this one's a little bit tighter, you can just put it at the fair value gap. You want to take out swing lows. At this point, you could just even go for the low of day, because there's a downtrend, a structure change. And I didn't play this one, but this is very similar to the one I did play, but this one was a little bit better. Alright, well, I hope that helps. Hopefully you get a better idea of how I use the fair value gaps. I use it as kind of a retest. You know, you could use it with other confluences, right, like trend lines. Trend line breaks into these liquidation areas, and you play them off actionable signals. Alright, so I hope that helps. If you have any comments, or if you trade fair value gaps similar or a different way, please share them in the comments below. Alright.